Leadership Through the Ages by Briley Jeffries. Nellie McClung background. Nellie was born October 20th, 1873, and passed away September 1st, 1951. Nellie was raised on a homestead in Souris Valley in Manitoba and did not go to school until she was 10. She received her teaching certificate at 16 and then was a teacher until she married Robert Wesley McClung in 1896. In 1908, Nellie published her first novel, Sowing Seeds in Danny, a witty portrayal of a small western town. The book was a national bestseller. Accomplishments. Nellie played a leading role in the 1914 Liberal campaign against Sir Rodman Roblin's Conservative government, as they had refused women's suffrage. In 1915, Nellie moved to Alberta, where she continued the fight for women's suffrage and for prohibition. McClung was also one of the famous five, a group of ladies that included Emily Murphy, Henrietta Muir Edwards, Louise McKinley, and Irene Pardley. Major events in history Nellie was part of. Nellie was part of the Famous Five, a group of women who fought to get women the right to vote, battled for minimum wage for women, struggled to improve farm women's rights, and more. In 1917, Canadian women were battling the then Prime Minister to make Emily Murphy a senator. Some people opposed the idea, saying that when the British North American Act talked of persons being appointed to the Senate, it only meant men. Emily would not accept this, so she rounded up 4 of her friends and sent a petition to the Supreme Court of Canada. But the court said no. But the group did not give up. The person case, its new name, was taken to the Privy Council Court of England. On October 18, 1929, the English judges said that the word persons included men and women. Thanks to them, women took a big step towards equality. Who this leader is like in modern times. Tarana Burke, an activist who started the #MeToo movement to encourage women who have been sexually assaulted or harassed to speak up and say, "Me too." Both Nellie and Tanara are known for fighting for gender equality and for speaking out for all to hear and force the government to listen. I chose Tanara because, like Nellie, she is a suffragist and is fighting the fight for women's rights, equal pay for women, and is speaking out to large audiences to spread the word. Leadership qualities. Nellie was known to add humor to keep the audience's attention during her speech and to get her points across in a memorable way. Nellie's teaching, writing, and public speaking abilities fueled her desire to improve the rights of Canadian women. This desire, combined with her true activist nature, Christian faith, and sense of duty, helped her become one of Canada's greatest social activists. Shania Twain. Elena Edwards was born on August 28, 1965, at Windsor, Ontario. Elaine sang all the time, everywhere she went, even though there was not much to sing about, as her family was poor and often did not have enough to eat or to heat the house. Her mother and stepfather introduced her to country music. Sadly, they were both killed in a car accident when she was 21. She changed her name to Shania Twain. Shania is an Ojibwe name that means I am on my way, and Twain was her Ojibwe stepfather's last name. Accomplishments. Her album, The Woman in Me, was awarded a 1996 Grammy Award as Best Country Album. 3 versions of her next album, Up, were released in 2002, including a pop version, a country version, and an international version. The album went diamond. She has won 5 Grammys, is a world-class songwriter who has won 39 BMI's Songwriting Awards, and has won 5 AMAs. Major events in history. She is the only female artist to have 3 consecutive diamond release albums in the U.S. She has sold over 100 million records, making her the best-selling female artist in country music history, and among the best-selling music artists of all time. Her 3rd album, Come On Over, became the biggest-selling country album of all time, as well as the most successful album by a women soloist ever. Who is this leader like in modern times? Shania and Tenille Townes are similar artists because they are both Canadian and have traveled cross-country to support charity. Their 2nd album secured them fame and success, The Woman in Me and Somebody's Daughter. They are both amazing storytellers through their song lyrics. And lastly, they have won the award for Best Female Artist of the Year. Tenille grew up listening to Shania Twain in the backseat of her daddy's truck. Leadership qualities. Shania Twain is gifted with self-expression, which can bring a great inspiration force in the world. She has a natural ability to raise people's spirits. She bounces back easily from setbacks and can overcome any adversities or obstacles thrown in her way. Shania is optimistic, resilient, creative, and disciplined. Lucy Maud Montgomery. Lucy was born November 30th, 1874, at Clifton, now New London, PEI, and passed away on April 24th, 1942, at Toronto, Ontario. Lucy's mother died of tuberculosis when she was only 2. She claims her earliest memory was seeing her mother in the coffin. Lucy said in her autobiography, The Alpine Path, "I did not feel any sorrow, for I knew nothing of what it all meant. I was only vaguely troubled." Her childhood was spent with her grandparents in PEI as her father moved south to the Northwest Territories, now Saskatchewan. She joined him 3 years later, but was very homesick with her father and his new wife, whom she did not like very much. So she returned home to PEI a year later. Her grandparents showed her little affection, and her childhood was one of loneliness and isolation, feelings that would remain throughout her life. She coped by escaping to her imagination, which she nurtured with copious amounts of reading and writing. Lucy battled with depression, rejection, and sexism to be known around the world for Anne of Green Gables. Accomplishments. Lucy's first published poem, On Cape Leforce, was listed in the local newspaper on November 26, 1890. She published her poem under the name L.M. Montgomery in order to hide her gender. In 1894, she completed a teacher's training course at the Prince of Wales College in Charlottetown, graduating with honors. She also studied English literature in 1895 at Dalhousie University. However, due to financial reasons, she only studied for a year and did not receive a degree. But it was during this time she was first paid for writing. She taught at a village school in the late 1800s, but when her grandfather died, she returned home to live with her grandmother. Here she started writing poems and stories for publishers while also working at the post office. Major events. Lucy completed her first novel, Anne of Green Gables, in 1905. The manuscript was rejected by 6 different publishers, so she gave up and placed it in a hat box. She came upon it in 1907 when cleaning her house, when she decided to send it again. Lucy scored a publishing deal with L.C. Page in Boston. Released in June 1908, the book sold more than 19,000 copies in its first 5 months and was reprinted 10 times in its first year. Lucy's contract required her to write 2 sequels, Anne of Green Gables, Anne of Avonlea, and Anne of the Island. She is also known for a best-selling Emily trilogy, as well as 6 other novels, The Blue Castle, Magic for Marigold, A Tangled Web, Part of the Silver Bush, Mistress Pat, and Jane of Lantern Hill. Who is like Lucy in modern times? Lucy Maud Montgomery and J.K. Rowling share similar traits. Both knew from a young age they wanted to be writers. Both have been praised for their literary series, Anne of Green Gables for Lucy and Harry Potter for J.K. And both writers have suffered from mental illness, depression. Leadership qualities. Lucy enjoyed learning and discovering new things. She achieved this by research, piecing together information, and once all the pieces are together, she is capable of creative and intelligent, practical solutions to problems. She worked best alone, as she needed to examine her ideas without other people's thoughts or opinions. She was a logical thinker, concentrated, determined, down to earth, and easy to have a good relationship with. Similarities and differences between each leader. The 3 leaders I have chosen possess different qualities, such as theoretical insight. Lucy and Nellie would often do research before they completed a task, while Shania is more of a live-in-the-moment kind of gal. Humor. Both Shania and Nellie are known to use humor, but ever since Lucy's parents died and her fiancé, Lucy focused on her writing and vowed to never love. The 3 leaders I have chosen possess these similar qualities: resilient, determined, creative, down to earth, and all the women were very easy to talk to and have a relationship with. Thank you.